Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Here is Busisiwe Mokhwebane giving some highlights on some of the factors that the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development was supposed to focus on in order for the South African courts to be functional. So remember, Busisiwe Mokhwebane she's the former state prosecutor, and also she knows more about the South African courts because some of the things that was stated by the minister, she's saying that it is just on the paper, but down there in the courts it is not happening. So do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also drop a like.
Minister, you've mentioned several things which you said are happening in the current justice system. Unfortunately, this is on paper indeed. It's not what is happening, unfortunately, on the ground. We've dealt with the issue of the lower courts and the proposed solution. We've mentioned the backlogs, the treatments of the GBV victims in the courts. And I think the serious issue which we need to focus on, we need the lower courts bill. We need to move the lower courts to be under the OCJ. That will then ensure their independence and make sure that they are properly funded and they are properly dealt with. There is a report issued by the public protector and it deals with all the audits, and it says do the audits of all the courts and improve the courts. You have the system of maintaining all the courts. I will propose that that is your starting point to do that. TFMC, the maintenance of courts, should have been part of one of the APPs. And I will suggest as well, go through the FFC report, the Fiscal and Financial Commission report, where they were also recommending how you can use the integrated and high level as a technology to improve the issue of access to justice. Definitely realizing the problem of load shedding or load reduction these days, they are calling it that, and it's still happening. And I think you will make sure that each and every court has the UPS and has the generators. The issue of the master's office, we've said a mouthful. I mean, you said it yourself, people are vulnerable, children are vulnerable, they are expected to stand in queues and to be turned back. The master's office is not answering phones. I mean, we know that there was an uncovering of that corruption in the Pietermaritzburg Guardians funds, an amount of 7 million, which was utilized, and the investigation is ongoing. Apparently, as well, there's an amount of 17 million, which also there was an internal breach in that. The SIU is investigating, but then I think as well can be fast-tracked. The 13 senior managers you are mentioning, how do you make sure that they are fast-tracked as well? We cannot have people, I think the PSC, when they were presenting their report, were saying you find a person being suspended for 12 to 2 years to 3 years without finalization. We hope that will be fast-tracked. The issue of the backlog at the master's office, currently 13,000 kind of backlog. By December last year, it was only 6% of that which was dealt with. There's no APP dealing with the number of cases which should be dealt with, even in the lower courts. We need an APP which will indicate how many number of cases we are dealing with. And the deceased estate online service, it needs to be rolled out throughout the courts so that is accessible. Minister, you are not mentioning anything about the repeal of the apartheid laws. We know the project by the South African Law Commission, which you might have mentioned, but then we will appreciate that that is in the APP, and how many laws will have to be amended. The Prevention of Public Violence and Intimidation Act, the Riotous Act, the Commissions Act, which should be dealt with. The state attorney as well is a mess. And before I go to the state attorney, I'm disappointed that the Justice Committee chairperson, we agreed that we'll call upon the NPA, SIU, and deal with their reports. That has never happened, and it's something which we are not appreciating ourselves. State attorneys, you find state attorneys having 1,000 more cases per state attorney. Can you look into that? Make sure you employ more state attorneys. Secondly, use previously disadvantaged attorneys who've established their firms, but they are not able to do anything. The briefing patterns, on paper, you are saying you are briefing a lot of women, junior advocates, but that's not correct because it's only going to certain individuals and few individuals. And even if when you brief them, you give them manual cases like your RAF, and I'm not saying they shouldn't, but you should empower them to have more involved cases. And NPA is also another problem. There's no in their APP. We need to see how many cases they have. There was a mention that is around 150,000 backlogs. That should be there. That should be monitored quarterly. That should be dealt with. I'm disappointed, and we are disappointed at EFF that there's unresolved cases about Steinhoff cases, about ABB corruption. The way they resolved it, it was wrong. The one you are mentioning, EVPS, yes, the very same people who are appearing before court, those people must be fast-tracked, must be dealt with. People must be charged and be dealt with. You can say that, unfortunately, it involves the very same GNU partners of yours. Finally, it comes back to the issue of the TRC. I'm disappointed, Uguti, to this day. Asazi kwenzakalani to sisi Nokuthula Simelane. The very same delay ukuthi those cases are not prosecuted. These people are dying, the very same ones. Always they're in hospital and they are not resolved. As EFF, we've been saying ENPA must be changed to a Chapter 9 institution so that we remove this interference. Chapter 9 institution. Thank you so much. Thank you, Honor. Thank you, Honor.
Thank you for watching my videos. Please do not forget to drop your comment so that we can hear your own point of view and also your experience in the justice and constitutional development and also our South African courts in general. Please like and share. Thank you.